PSG 2, Liverpool 1. Welcome back to KangBrosTV. Boy, is this a concern for you, bruv? Because this game was a big game and we were shit. I'm sorry, the second half we were okay, but the first half, horrible, bruv.
It's like Belgrade all over. Do you know what? Sorry to just butt in there. Do you know one thing that frustrates me? Is people make so much of statistics, don't they?
Yeah.
And they're like, Jurgen Klopp's record's actually terrible away from home. He hasn't won a game from home. And in my head, I was like, bruv, we got a Champions League final last year. So you don't mind it. So I'm like, I don't look too much into stats. But then when I was watching the game, innit, I was like, you know what? Those stats are right. Because those stats, we're fucked.
Do you know what I mean? For me, there's one place to start, is the midfield. Our midfield is non-existent. Now, there's a lot of people that hate Hendo, and he didn't help himself. He did not help himself. I mean, there was times he would get the ball, there was gaps that he wouldn't go into, and then he would just keep going sideways again. And for me, like you mentioned in the first half, one ball, straight through the middle, bam. PSG got a chance.
The thing was, do you know what about that? What annoys me is it was one pass, and it wasn't like it was a disguised pass or he's whipped it. It was just a 5-yard pass, and literally 3 minutes, boom, out the game. And then all of a sudden, the fullbacks are flying on. You got those madmans in there doing them absolute madders, and you got 4 centre backs or 4 defenders that were very, very narrow. So for me, I'm like, one pass can't take out 3 players, especially midfielders at that level. You should know that. Listen. It's compact, nothing goes through us, make them go wide. Not even, bro.
No, but why doesn't he change his midfield? Like, we've got Gini, Milner, and Hendo. Now, you spent, I don't know how much millions for your midfield. Now, Fabinho. For me, this is the perfect game to play Fabinho. The guy has played in the French league for how long?
He's won trophies in the French league. And also, the thing is, I feel that game was... It's easy to hindsight and all that, but for me, that game is probably a game that you would play him because just like, right, we need someone who's going to break play up.
That's what we need yesterday, right?
Break play, but not in like a. It got clumsy towards the end of that game. That's another side story. But you need someone who's going to put a foot in and be in Neymar's face and not let the ball get someone's feet. Just be combative. That's what I thought personally. I thought Hendo's been in and out of the team at the moment. He's not fit. This is a mad game to throw him back into. I thought big Jimmy Jones Milner, he was on job. Jimmy was on job yesterday, yeah? Shout out to my boy Jimmy Jones. But I thought Millie was on job, yeah? That's what I thought. But my biggest problem with that is you're relying on a guy who's got into the twilight of his career to be on job.
What about Gini?
Listen, I love Gini's my guy, and I always will look to back Gini. But I don't know, just...
For me, it's now no longer good enough just to be running around pressing and being a problem. And the thing you need to break the line.
He also looks a bit tired to me because he's expected to do that every week.
No, because we saw it for Holland when he breaks the line. The guy can actually go score goals.
Yeah.
So from right now, I'm saying I just don't see what our midfield offers us. They could have stayed at home. There was no point in them being there. I saw some people some dude had Henderson as man of the match. What were you watching? Are you mad?
And the thing is, a lot of people say about Hendo. He keeps it moving, keeps things moving and stuff like that. Sometimes you want your midfielder to take the game by the scruff of the neck, the captain. Get the ball, just step in. Or get the ball and just settle us down. Yeah? Not even, bruv. Who's getting it? Yeah. Go on, bruv. Do your thing.
But did PSG deserve to win for you in that game?
Yeah, I do. I
got no questions to that.
It's not...
So no problem.
I believe that we had chances in the second half where a quality side, like a top quality side, a Man City... for example, would have taken those chances. I reckon they would have punished PSG. PSG defensively, I don't think the centre halves played well yesterday, but I don't think that they can be got at. Basically, they will concede goals. I don't think PSG will win the Champions League, and I don't think they're anywhere near winning the Champions League. That's my opinion of that. But if they're beating us and we're not, and they're not winning the Champions League, then where does that leave us at the moment? Last season was a great run and it was a great ride. I don't think that's going to happen this year. Just being honest, the team doesn't look as at it as they were, and Liverpool seem a bit one-dimensional at the minute. If the front three ain't doing anything, no one else is going to change the game.
I wouldn't say it's one-dimensional. For me, it's just too predictable.
Well,
I think everyone knows. I mean, the players can do a lot of different things. What I'm saying is, like people like Mo Salah, when he gets into positions, it's like even as a fan, you know what he's going to do.
To cut back onto the left
and just pop a shot off.
Yeah.
That's all he's going to look to do.
Yeah.
And it was just like. I mean, there was one stage in the game where I thought it was 2-1, and I'm thinking, this is the
time to go get the goal now.
This is the time
They're on the ropes, yeah.
And then obviously, unfortunately, Big Shaq didn't come on make any sort of influence in the game.
And then he's probably another person that I would have thought would have been a good person to have in that game from earlier. Yeah. Again, I know it's not like I'm singling out Hendo or anything like that. I'm just saying, for a game of the magnitude of it was yesterday, I just felt it was probably a bit rushed. You know, you want someone who's been playing regularly to be involved, and someone who's riding a bit of a wave, which I believe Big Shaq is at the moment. I think he's playing quite well for us on a whole.
I mean, Naby Keita, he played for what, 15, 20 minutes? My man had dribbled more than Henderson in the whole game.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
All right.
That's a fact. So, I mean, the guy put the ball up and went directly to them, and they didn't like it. And this is what I'm trying to say, is that for me, Klopp now, he needs to take a stand here and say, this is not working. How long do we keep going saying, oh yeah, we're getting results? We're not even getting results anymore. In every single away game in the Champions League.
Hold on. What are you saying?
What do you mean?
You know that we're not even getting results anymore. Yeah. So what are you saying? Are you saying that there's a problem, a big problem here?
There's a problem in the midfield. We need to go out and get a decent midfielder.
How much more money can they keep spending on midfielders?
Bruv, I don't know what it's going to take. I'm just telling you how it is. You got to face facts. Are you telling me that this team is capable and doing well at the moment? And do you think a few changes will sort it out?
Well, listen, I think if you've paid the money for a new midfield, which he has, he bought Shaqiri, Fabinho and Keita, right? If you've paid that money for them three midfielders, as an owner of a football club or of a business, how are you gonna sit there like that, knock on the door, hello, all right? Can I just pitch something to you? Yeah, go for it, mate. Yeah, I'm really interested. Can I have 200 million to buy three new midfielders? Whoa. Have you not seen those three out there? You spent, that much money. Nah, they could be shoving their shit. Can we get three more? You're going to turn around and you'll be like, get out, mate.
No, I mean, that's possibly one solution. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're going to go with these midfielders, play the fuckers. Just go out there and play Fabinho, play Keita. Just try it. You can't just keep changing them and pulling them out. I'm saying you need to do something bold now. That's my perspective.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hear you.
So what you suggesting?
I feel you. But
what are you suggesting?
The counter argument is that we're still unbeaten in the Premier League. Just hear me out.
Go on.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. They're unbeaten in the Premier League. Okay, so as a manager, you're going to turn around and be like, okay, we ain't been great in those games. We've beaten PSG at home. Just wait.
Bro, it's fans like you, bro.
Just wait. We've beaten PSG and we've beaten Belgrade at home. We've had 3 games away from home, which are very tough places to go, and we've lost. Granted. But the fact of the matter is,
you say tough places to go. We should not be losing to Belgrade, bro. I don't care how hostile it is.
I've seen you play football at the park, bro. Talk to me about
we should not be losing to Belgrade. I'm telling you, as it is. If it's hostile, you go with the draw. You do not lose that game.
But I think this is the point I'm trying to make is I see what you're saying, and as a fan, you're thinking, there's an area for concern. But as a manager, you're going to turn around and be like, there is an area for concern. We're unbeaten in the league. We're joint top. No, we're second in the league. We're still in qualification is in our own hands. Yeah. So let's just ride the storm, and it'll be okay. You know what I mean? That's what I want him to tell me anyway. That's what I'm hoping. But listen, as a fan, I am looking at it thinking something's got to give.
So what's the solution? That's what I'm waiting for, bro.
Well, I think that Shaqiri's got to play a lot more, and I think there needs to be another string to our bow, and that string to our bow might even be, this is going to sound left field. And this leaves me open for criticism, but might even be maybe, let's say, to Firmino, play in the 10. Get Solanke up front, someone who's a bit of a presence, who's banging in goals elsewhere, and who's another element, just another option. We can go a bit longer, maybe. I'm not saying play Route 1 football, but it's nice to have an option.
I like that.
This is something different.
This is what I'm trying to say. At the moment, it's too same. You can't just say, oh yeah, our top 3 is just going to be Firmino, Salah, and Mane. Try and do something different. Try and get managers or other teams thinking that, hold on, they're doing something different here. We can't just watch videos of the front 3 and just be ready for what's coming. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I can't disagree with you. I think, just to move on, to move this on, I thought Alisson, I thought done a lot of good things yesterday. Yeah,
if it wasn't there, boy, it could have been
a lot worse.
Yeah, it could be terrible.
I think Big Verge, one-on-one defending, it's top draw. You know the way.
What about the goal? Would you put blame on him for that goal, because that could have been a better clearance?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You're nitpicking. Because at the time, I think what he. Looked like he couldn't sort his feet out, but as a defender, and again, hindsight. But I would like to think that you'd send that back where it come from, the ball where it come from, not try and put it back into an area that's potentially going to cause problems. But that's nitpicking. They shouldn't have been in that situation anyway. And I thought the way that PSG played yesterday is, listen, game management. They had game management. Verratti should have been sent off for me. I think he had a lot of fouls that he got away with yesterday. I thought the referee was quite weak in the sense that he didn't. I think he was like, right, well, if I start flashing cards, I have to do it all the time. Then he started flashing cards thinking, I don't know if I can keep this up because if that's a yellow card, then that's a red card. Do you know what I mean? He kind of lost control of the game.
But I think you mentioned it was about Gomez. Gomez ain't no pussy-hole.
That's it, yeah.
So he got up from that challenge. And he didn't make a big deal out of it. If he started rolling around like the Brazilians were doing for the PSG, start doing one of them ones, he'd have been gone.
Bro.
The way the referee can run over.
Bro, Joe Gomez got hit. He got up and he looked at man and said, "What? Who wants it? Because I'm actually backing it." That's what it looked like. I was like, Joe, was that Thiago's? Is it Thiago, the centre back, Thiago Silva? He threw himself on the floor and bopped his own head. Assistance. Joe Gomez had his knee discombobulated by this brer, and he was up. What you want to go? You want to go?
No, but do you think that's bad tactics from Liverpool? Do you think they should actually be, more? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Savvy.
Yeah, they should they be more savvy in that? Thinking this is how you get games done. And I think other big teams would have done that. That challenge, the whole crowd, everyone knew about it. The referee came running over. I believe that if Gomez was rolling around like a fool, that would have been a red card.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Game management, and I don't know. Sometimes it is. I've played with players who if you foul them, you have to pin them down for them to stay down because it's that pride thing. I've also played with players who go down. They'll be screaming, bruv, in a situation, screaming. Yeah, all because of they want to get sent off. So it's a bit of each their own. Because I believe if that was Mane, and I saw the way Mane was going down, Mane would have been
Yeah, Mane would have done it.
But again, Mane was. Do you know what? I backed him yesterday. I rated Mane yesterday because he was battling. He's like, right, well, if I'm not going to get into decisions, I'm just going to battle and I'm just going to fight and hit people.
Who's your man of the match yesterday?
I thought that it would probably be Big Jimmy Jones. I think Jimmy Milner.
See what I mean? This is what we're dealing with.
No, actually,
we're playing PSG, and we've got James Milner playing. He just scored. He scored a very good penalty. But we can't have people like James Milner.
I think for me. Do you reason why I say that? Do you know what? Because I believe throughout the whole game, he never took a backward step to say, "I don't fancy this."
We need somebody better than James Milner in this position. That's all I'm trying to say. We're playing in the Champions League.
You asked me a question. Who I think was my man of the match. Okay,
right? And I don't think he was that great. I think he did okay.
No, listen, we got beat 2-1 away from home. We got beat 3 games in the Champions League away from home. I don't think anyone can be standing out as a standout player. Yeah. You mentioned you thought Robertson was probably your man of the match.
For me, it was Robertson.
Yeah, I disagree. I thought that yesterday I looked at him and I thought there's areas in times of when you have to be clinical, you're looking at him and he's gotten himself into a position and you think, that's where I need you to be with a bit of quality because that is the difference between a point away from home and being a great result and he's got in that position. So that's where for me, I'm looking at that thinking, but there's nobody. Alisson's probably the only person I could think of. Because without him, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a hell of a lot worse.
All right, let's wrap this video up. I mean, now we're moving into the last game of the Champions League group. Liverpool, all they need to do is win 1-0 against Napoli. Napoli are no joke, and it's been proven that they're no joke. Do you think, though, Liverpool will be able to overcome that?
Listen, I'm nervous, but let's hope that we can create one of those epic Anfield European nights that everyone talks about.
I think it will be.
And you know what? Listen, if as a football player, and if you're a professional football player, I believe that's why you play the game. Those games are why you are in the sport. So let's hopefully that is the case, and let's hopefully they can get the job done. I'm nervous because if they score 1, we need to score 2 clear goals. We need to be won by 2 clear goals, and that makes me nervous. So
before we wrap this up, the 2 questions I want to ask is that do Liverpool need a drastic change, as I was saying about buying somebody or changing the formation or do something really to change things up? And secondly is, do you think that Liverpool will overturn Napoli at Anfield and come victorious? So until then,
just before we wrap this up though,
go on.
Big game on the weekend.
It's a little game, bro. I didn't even mention it.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, big game on the weekend, and I'm listen. To be fair, they scare me, especially because we've just got beat. But bring them on, bring it on.
Dog shit, bro. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
Peace.